You hear about the owner of Furafindi dying as well. It was really sad. He was struggling to get a doctor's appointment through U.S. healthcare right up until the end. How was he never able to like monetize Fur Affinity? Was he never able to make a living off of it? I feel like you run ads on Fur Affinity, you can, you can buy a mansion. UVA Health, you have a new estimate. Your estimated responsibility for the visit on August 1st is $25,224.54. Your expected prepay amount is the same number. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. Yep, that's a person who's been on the internet for a while. So these were from July 30th. August 6th, he's passed away. Was it decently likely then that he was on the way out anyway? I mean, if there's this, if he's doing medical visits here and then he dies just that soon after, I wonder how preventable it was at that point. Maybe you would have needed like preventative care a while ago, which obviously like that's the real cost of being poor, right? It's not just like not having the money for the treatment right then. It's that you don't have the money to get the preventative care, which makes it worse and worse and worse and worse and so on. And then, like at the end of the day, the root cause in so many cases is like, it costs more for everybody when you don't have the ability to get that care early on. He actually bought the site back for the community from the company that bought it from him. Sorry for copying my comment. To like make Fur Affinity better. So what did he even die of? He got rid of his insurance for some reason. I think it was to buy his site back. Can't remember why, but wasn't that profitable? Also a poorly managed site. My friends and I speculate he had a fungal infection. It's hard to diagnose because it can be mistaken for TB or lung cancer. Well, either way, it's unfortunate for sure. It's sad. Yeah, it's pretty bad out here, folks. Healthcare wise, I mean. My partner of 20 years just spent a week in the hospital. Still don't know if she has a cyst or abscess or ovarian cancer. And we have a $5,000 bill. How the after spending a week in the hospital are they not able to narrow it down between a cyst or an abscess or ovarian cancer? Like, what are they? It's genuinely astonishing sometimes how much them doing nothing at all can cost. They're very similar. It's not if they actually just do the test, it's not that hard. Don't let them get this like this like legitimizing of the difficult. Not every medical problem is like a chubby emu video, usually it's like, oh, this person has obvious symptoms, we're just going to run a bevel of tests, all of which we have machines for, all of which you could functionally operate with like basically, let's be clear here, not even like a postgraduate degree, not a graduate degree. I mean, like, you could operate this with a week training, get somebody to run through the charts, kablamo, you have the information, but it's all run through the bureaucracy, man. There's nothing about doctoring that makes it any meaningfully, it's not distinct from any other professional field, from tailoring or carpentry or anything else where like a guy with an expertise helps you, there's no fundamental difference. And it's subject to the same economic rules. Tailoring used to be very cheap because there were tailors everywhere. But thanks to like, top-down billionaire corporate consolidated insurance company mandated rules and bureaucracy concerning the behavior and treatment of people who need, any kind of medical attention, everything's price gets massively elevated. The cost of medical care has only gone up, and the number of people who are getting like their paychecks increased, the number of people in the medical industry, in the, in the actual profession who are getting all that money, the increase in pay, where it's going to the administrative staff. It's not going to the doctors or surgeons. It doesn't cost that much to give people good health care unless you abide by these insane asinine rules where you're like, well, actually, you have to give the insurance companies $1 billion to do it. And then, yeah, obviously it costs $1 billion. We lack doctors and nurses. We literally deliberately suppress the number of doctors and nurses that graduate because we don't want to crowd out the field, so doctors and nurses get paid less or whatever. Like, it's a completely artificial shortage. Wait, so the US does the thing that they want more of in Korea? Yeah, we do a version of it for sure. There are absolutely quotas for acceptance in these fields. Also, medical professionals suffer from empathy fatigue to a greater extent because they know they're put their patient in a death trap. Quality quotes. Benjamin, just Google it. Jesus. Then we look at something like this in South Korea. Yeah. Same basic, but they do it worse than we do. Yeah, working in a hospital sucks ass. Yeah, it doesn't cost that much. You have to. This is why I say the economy's fake. Like, oh, the stock market. This company was worth 18 trillion. Now it's worth 17 trillion. It's a panic. It's a market crisis. What led to this? Oh, well, experts disagree, but it turns out it was just vibes. People felt a different way, so then it was worth less, but now they feel another different way, so now it's worth more. It's like that with the cost of medical supply. Think of the actual literal amount of effort and work it takes to do, say, for example, blood testing, okay? Blood testing, what do we need? We need a nurse to sit down with you and draw your blood. Okay, what material costs are involved? Well, we're talking vials. Glass vials costs nothing. They cost nothing. You know, you need to clean or reuse the needle, you know, the whole 9 yards. You get these at wholesale prices. We're talking cents on the dollar. I mean, we're talking nothing, okay? You're also talking about the time and attention of the nurse. So how much is 5 minutes, 10 minutes, let's say 15 minutes of a nurse's time worth? $5 depending on the state, 5 to 10. Let's just say $10. We'll be generous, okay? Let's keep a margin up in there. $10, fine. So $10 for that. Then you ship out the drawn blood to the testing lab, which is either on site or they have one in the city. You know, I'd say 50, but okay. No, Benjamin, nurses are not paid $200 an hour. We're just talking a portion of their wage. So anyway, you ship the blood out to a lab that can be on site, in which case shipping it out would be effortless and free. Or you can ship it, you know, to somewhere else in the city. It doesn't take much to ship a blood vial out. They put them in these big crates where you can safely contain hundreds of them in like a box, and then you put them in a truck where it's cold, and then like it's not difficult, okay? And you get them over there. And then they run them all through a centrifuge. They do the necessary tests. Altogether, if you took a look at the actual labor and resources that are involved, chemicals ain't cheap. Ah, Nicola, you're wrong, actually, in one very critical way. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. A lot of the chemical resources that they use for medical testing, they use an incredibly small amount, and the actual wholesale cost of these is relatively minimal. They really are. Now, again, this varies test to test. I'm not going to pretend that's the case with everything. But they're pretty damn cheap. I mean, I wouldn't want to buy them, but you buy a barrel of it, and then you've got like 50 million blood tests you can do, you know? You go to the lab, you run the tests, and then for a lot of these tests, you don't even need an expert to take a look at the results. Some you do. For some, you want someone with some expertise to go, okay, so we're looking at this, we're looking at these other tests, we're trying to do some, like, we're working around this, what's going to work best, you know? What does this point to? What does this look like? And then you've got a lot of these test results, it's literally just a number. Literally, you run it through a centrifuge, you have the chemical analysis, it's a number that just gives you a number. Or you've got one of those nuclear machines that uses the alpha particles to determine the thingy of the thingy. You know, I'm not a doctor, but I do know getting your blood drawn and tested, it should be like 20 bucks. But it's like 300. Why? Because they hate you and they want you to die. That's why. Wait, it costs money in America? Yes. Wait, is it actually 300 in the USA? Raise your hand if you've paid around 300 for a blood testing panel. Just regular blood testing. Not even anything super duper fancy. You know, just the regular blood testing. Yep. There we go. Thereabouts. You know, it can vary. 250, 450, whatever. It's a vibe thing. They roll dice to tell you how much. The amount that blood testing costs, it's not actually 250. It's actually 20D12. Wait, no. Average of a D12, 6.5, 20D. No, it's 40D12. You know? They have fun with it. You're paying hundreds of dollars for insulin when we all know insulin costs nothing to produce. Nothing. Absolutely. They should be paying you to take it. Nothing. All these drugs you take, they cost nothing. Please don't tell me you agree with Demon Mama's taking bathtub insulin. You shouldn't have to make bathtub insulin. We have factories that can make a basically infinite amount of it for free. That sounds like a crazy lefty, like, reduced stereotype answer. Like, well, what if they just made it for free? What if they just made it for free? What if they did do that, actually? I'm pretty sure that's Demon Mama's take, too. What if the companies that made insulin and then charged $1 billion for it for no reason? What if they just didn't? What if they did make it, but didn't charge $1 billion? Something you could easily mandate through legislation or just have it nationalized. I mean, this is what Bernie Sanders wanted, single payer. You know what that would mean? That would mean if you want insulin, you go get it for free. And then the government is like, all right, we'll foot the bill for the insulin. Now, insulin company, considering we're the only one you can deal with now, and we're the government of the United States of America, we think that insulin should be $1 per container of it. What do you think? You say while like cracking your knuckles, you know? And then the insulin company goes, well, I don't want you to arrest me. So, all right, that sounds fair to me. $1 it is. What a great system. How do we prevent these companies from just not making insulin then? I mean, they're still making money off of it. $1 per container. I'm obviously guesstimating with the dollar per container. You know, obviously these companies could still negotiate a price point with the US government that would allow them to make a profit. Why would they stop if they're making a profit, you know? They would like lose money if they're not selling anything. Or we could just nationalize them. I'm in favor of that too. I don't give a shit. It's not as though most pharmaceutical research doesn't come out of the government from one point or another anyway, you know? You think our mRNA vaccines were like a corporate invention? No. We do that work. We pay for it too. That's the reason why the COVID vaccines were free. That's why they should be free forever. All vaccines, everything should be free. Vote for me. But how will we innovate without corporations? That's the great thing, VCC TV. You don't need to innovate insulin. It's a chemical. It's kind of a biological, you know, you don't need to innovate it. It's fine. The most you'd have to innovate is the delivery mechanism, but I feel like we could manage that. We have a variety of delivery mechanisms for insulin already. As I understand it, they make the needles better. I don't know. I'm not diabetic. I've never had to use it. If we make it free, how do we prevent overuse, misuse, Ozempic type shit? From insulin, Benjamin Gilbert Liff? It's insulin. How do we prevent people from getting water poisoning? What do you mean? Why are you being disagreeable? Stop offering your opinion on everything, okay? Yeah, people are stupid. It should be like $5 a month. People could still... What do you... Sure, whatever you want. It's just a simple Medicare for all, one payer system. You get it for free. Whatever. Insulin addicts, when I won't give them their 15th jar of insulin that day. Please! I was charged $16,000 for a colonoscopy at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. I paid around $40 for a colonoscopy in Norway as a foreigner. Yeah, it's literally like better to just pay for the plane ticket to go to another more civilized country to get the medical care done there, and then you fly back to America and you save a ton of money. It's why people fly over to like Turkey for their cosmetic surgery or whatever. I used to be a bioanalytical scientist analyzing blood using LCMS. It really is that cheap. Yeah, no, it is. A lot of this stuff should be, I mean, essentially free, and the government should pay for it anyway. Here in Brazil, I got wisdom teeth surgery for free, no cost at all. I think it would probably cost thousands in the US. Yes, it does cost thousands in the US, yeah. Yeah, and LCMS machines are expensive up front, still doesn't change it. Yeah, but like compared to the amount of money that runs through a hospital, the cost of the machines they use, they pay for themselves very quickly, you know? You can get a lot of the stuff they use at hospitals, you can get as a civilian for amounts of money that you could like save up for. Maybe not shit like, you know, why am I blanking? The big magnetic tube that you lay down on a gurney and they put you through. Why am I blanking on this? MRI, thank you, God. Yeah, you're probably not buying an MRI machine for your basement, though. I mean, honestly, who knows? It's America. But a lot of the chemical stuff, I mean, you can get like civilian versions of those chemical analysis nuclear machines where they run they use like particle decay to the particles, NMR. You can get that. I mean, it's expensive, sure, but it's expensive on the level of like a civilian buying it, not expensive on the level of multi-billion-dollar corporations buying it. Dialysis machine is like $500 on eBay. People pay thousands per treatment. I don't know how much a dialysis machine costs. What's this I hear about the Canadian medical system encouraging suicide? Don't say self-unaliving. It's not TikTok, it's VGG. Yeah, they're pretty wacky with it, I feel. Basically, the law is that you shouldn't bring it up unless in very specific circumstances, but apparently there are a lot of instances of doctors bringing it up because it's like shrug, you know, damn, your life sucks, I guess. I don't know. I can't really speak to it. Yeah, please don't buy dialysis machines off eBay. The point is like the cost of the, yeah, you know. The broader point, I did, Yet Real. I thought it was pretty funny. Anyway, I guess the point through all of this, because we're just kind of rambling at this point, don't buy into any bullshit like structural functionalist myths about how, well, there must be a reason why all this healthcare stuff is so expensive. No. The vast majority of stuff that you would do at a hospital is stuff that, in terms of its actual material cost, is basically free. It costs very, very little. We're talking about incredibly efficient medical systems that can, provide for and care for people at a level unthinkable to any previous point in history. I mean, we've advanced. The technology has gotten so far, and a lot of this, once you have it all set up, the operational cost for it, like person by person, is just not that high. The reason it costs a lot is because people want to make money off of you. And as we all know, capitalism, or a market economy, is at its most exploitative when we're talking about an inelastic good, something that people want no matter how much it costs. You know? And people need healthcare. Much like food or water, if you are running in an industry where people are going to go to you for your product, whether or not it costs too much, you have sort of free license to charge as much as you want. Healthcare and housing being the two worst in this country, probably. It's not good. It's not good, people. Moral of the story, I'm buying medical equipment off eBay. That's the point that I was making.